Chapter 13. The next morning, I rush to get ready for school so I can go down to the hideout before walking to the bus stop. I want to check to see if whoever wrote that poem responded to my message. Nothing new is written on the wall. I guess that makes sense, since I only wrote the message last night. I decide to keep checking until a new message appears. Every time I go down to the hideout, I keep hoping the mysterious poet will be there. I imagine finding them sitting on the beanbag chair, reading my reply, or in the middle of writing back to me. Then we could spill our problems to each other in person and talk until we felt a little better about everything. None of that hap- None of this happens. Each morning, I'm the only one in the hideout, and there are no new messages. And each morning, I walk to the bus, disappointed. I stare at the other kids from the building, wondering which one of them it could be. Who seems like they're struggling with something? I have no idea. This is only the second week that I'm taking the bus with the other building kids. On Wednesday, when I get to the bus stop, the kids are talking about a hideout game tonight in low voices, so nobody else overhears. I half pay attention as they make plans. Want to do it on Friday night? Miles asks. We can do what we did the last time. Tell our parents we're at different people's apartments. Okay, Elena says. Now let's talk snacks. Whoever wrote the poem said they're tired of hiding their true feelings. So whoever it is, they're good at pretending to be happy. I can bake cookies, Nora says. Does everyone like peanut butter blossoms? I'm allergic to peanuts, Oliver says. Oh, right, Nora says. Forget about that. How about chocolate chip? Works for me, Oliver says. I'll bring popcorn, Miles says. Maybe it's one of the other kids in the building. Nora said that no younger kids go into the hideout. But what about the high school kids? Also, there could be other kids in the building that don't take the bus to school. I wish there were directories somewhere of all the kids in the building. Maybe Carlos has something like that? But how would I ask him without it being weird? Joy? I look up to find the others staring at me. My face gets hot. Sorry, what? Game night on Friday night, Elena says. Are you in? Oh, yeah, definitely. Yay, Nora says. You can tell your parents you're going to my place, and I'll tell my dad that I'm going to yours. Okay, this is actually perfect. The game night will give me the chance to get to know the other kids better and figure out who could have written the poem. By the way, are other any other kids in the building that go to the hideout besides us? Like, do the older kids go down there? My brothers used to, Elena says, but once I found out about it, they eventually stopped. I think the older kids got bored with it after a while. Plus, they can drive places and hang out outside the building. Yeah, it's really just us, Nora says. The Fabulous Five. Now that you're here, the Fierce Five, Elena says. The Fantastic Five, Molly says. The Funny Five, Oliver says with a laugh. All of the above, I say out loud. But inside, I'm still trying to figure it out. Which one of you wrote that poem? By Friday morning, I'm pretty sure I'll never get a response from the mysterious poet, whoever they are. It seems pretty clear that they aren't going to write me back. I keep checking, though, in case. But when I get down to the hideout this time, I see something new on the wall. I notice it even before I get up close because the words are in a different color marker. Right underneath my message, in purple ink, are two sentences in the same block letters. Thanks. It helps to know someone else cares. I'm tired of being sad. Are you going through something too? They wrote back. I almost scream with happiness. This is amazing. I wonder when they wrote this. It must have been last night, unless whoever it is wakes up early. I'm disappointed that I wasn't here to see them. What do I write next? I grab an orange marker and uncap and recap it a few times while I think. Finally, I come up with something. Yeah, sometimes I feel like someone took a slingshot and shot me high into the air, and now I'm waving my arms and trying to find a soft place to land. You know? I exhale as I recap the marker and put it away. It felt good to write that. Then I uncap the marker and write one more thing. By the way, who am I talking to? Joy. I hope they write me back again sooner this time. By Friday afternoon, Nora and I have our Ziggy walking routine down. I pick up Ziggy from May's apartment and meet Nora in the lobby. The three of us walk to the park and make the same loop around it. Ziggy seems to have his favorite places to sniff and pee, plus poop. Speaking of that, Nora and I keep our promise to switch off picking it up. This job has been a piece of cake, don't you think? I asked Nora. Ziggy trots a few steps ahead of us. Yeah, super easy, Nora says. By the end of the summer, I might be able to convince my dad to let me have my own dog. I can't wait until we get our first payment tomorrow. I already have a manila envelope ready to store my earnings in. I wrote, piano savings in big letters on the outside of it. I can't wait either. Nora pauses and then says, You know, there are other dogs in the building. I saw one in the lobby the other day. I think it was a lab mixed with some other breed. I wonder if any of the other owners would pay for a dog walker. Maybe, I say. Maybe they'd pay us, Nora says. You think? May's trusting us to do it, so why not? Both of us have stuff we're saving up for. What if we walk some more dogs at the same time as Zig? Could you hold a second leash? Probably, I say. I could definitely hold two leashes. If we got three other dogs at the same rate, then we could each make three times as much, $80 per week for each of us. With $80 a week, I might have enough for lessons and a keyboard by the time I start seventh grade this September. You're a genius, I grin. Let's do it. Now, how can we get other dog owners to agree to let us walk their dogs? We'll advertise, Nora says. Put up flyers around the building. But first, we should come up with a good name for a dog walking business. Joy and Nora's dog walking company? Nora suggests. Straight to the point. I like it, I laugh. But maybe we can come up with something shorter and punchier. How about, she pauses and then says, Joyful Dog Walkers. My eyes light up. I love that, but it doesn't have your name in it. That's okay. Your name fits better. Are you sure? I ask. I'm sure. Okay, we have to get our parents' permission first, I say. Should we put together another list of reasons why they should say yes? Nora's mouth twists as she thinks. We might not need to. If we wait another week to ask them, then they might be fine with it because they'll see how well we've done with Zig. So we'll ask in a week? Sounds like a plan, Nora says, and we grin at each other. Hey, Ziggy, I ask, and he turns around at the sound of his name. What do you think of having other friends with us on your walk? He tilts his head to the side like he's thinking about it. Nora crouches down, and I do the same. Does that sound like a good idea, Zig? She asks. Ziggy comes over to us and licks Nora's face, and then mine. I giggle. We'll take that as a yes. Chapter 14. Having a game night in a secret location means a lot more planning and strategy than meeting up in someone's basement. Getting all of us and our supplies in the hideout without anybody else in the building noticing is almost like a game in itself. We have to be extra sneaky. The first challenge is getting us all into the storage closet without being seen. If someone saw all five of us walk into the closet together, they'd know something was up. They'd probably go poking around, and it'd only be a matter of time before they found the hidden door to the hideout. You have to pass the closet to get to the laundry room, and people in this building do laundry at all hours. So we go down in shifts, starting with Nora and me. When I get back down there, Nora is already inside, and she has a backpack with her. Yay, you're here, Nora says. I'm so excited. Are those cookies? I point to her backpack. She nods. I made them right before dinner. I had to come up with a reason why I was bringing all of them to your house. So I told Dad and Izzy that I promised I'd give you a whole container. Anyway, let's head downstairs before someone in the hall hears us. Right. I brought a backpack too, and I shifted my shift it on my back as Nora opens the hideout door. I packed a bag of sour cream and onion chips that I found in our kitchen cabinet, an outdoor blanket for all of us to sit on, and a pack of playing cards. When we get downstairs, Nora turns on the Christmas lights and takes out her cookies. Meanwhile, I go straight to the corner to see if a new message is there. There is. Under my last note, it says, I get what you mean. Could the hideout be your soft place? It feels like mine. I just wish it could fix my problems. I noticed that they didn't answer my question about who they are. I wonder why. Hey, Nora, come over here. What? I want to show you something, I say. Nora comes over and I point to the last message in the chain. Do you recognize this handwriting? Then I point to the poem. Or this? She studies the handwriting and says, I don't think so. I've been writing back and forth with this person, I explain. This poem was the first message. I could tell they were sad, so I wrote back. I'm dying to know who it is, though. Any ideas? No clue. It's not you, is it? I. It's not you, is it? I mean it as a joke. But then I wonder, what if it is Nora? But we talk to each other every day. I think I know if she was struggling with anything. I've been telling her about my parents fighting, so I'm pretty sure she'd tell me if something was wrong. But still, I stare at her extra closely while she answers. Me? She asks. Are you serious? I'm kidding. I laugh. But I wish I knew who it was. She shrugs. If they didn't say, they probably don't want you to know. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, I guess we should finish setting up. I want to write another note to this mysterious person, but it can wait until later. Maybe during this game night, I can figure out who may have written the note. The first thing I did when I came down here was look to see if there was a response. Maybe that's what the mysterious poet will do too. I lay out my blanket in the middle of the room, and a minute later, we hear the hideout door open. Elena walks down the stairs. I pay attention to where Elena looks. If she glances at the corner with the messages, then maybe that will tell me something. But she only looks at us with a huge smile that says, I have tons of snacks. I raided our cabinets, plus side to having two older brothers. My parents won't even notice that I took them. They'll think Ethan or Elliot ate them. She gives us an evil-sounding laugh. Nice, Nora says. Ethan, Elliot, and Elena, I say. Your parents must like the letter E. I know, right? My brothers are twins, so they wanted their names to go together. And then they kept it going when I was born. What grade are they in? I ask. They're juniors in high school. Only one more year till they're off to college. I can't wait. Why? Do you have to share a room with them? I ask. Ew, no way, she grimaces. Their room is the grossest place on the planet. It smells like stinky socks and sweaty soccer uniforms every time I pass by it. Thank goodness our apartment has 3 bedrooms, so they share a room, and I have my own. Your own room, Nora says dreamily. I'm so jealous. I haven't had my own room since I was 3, and I don't even remember it. I had my own room until we moved here, I say. I miss it. What game should we play first? Nora asks, changing the subject. Twister? She holds up the box. No offense, Elena says, but I don't want to end up with one of the boys' butts in my face. Nora cracks up. Good point. How about taboo? That's always fun. The hideout door opens and closes again, and 2 sets of footsteps come down the stairs. The fearless 5, together again, Miles says. Oliver follows behind with a shy smile on his face. I hope one of you brought drinks, Nora says. We have a lot of snacks, but nothing liquid. I thought of that, Oliver says. He turns his backpack over, and a bunch of juice packs fall out. My mom went to Costco the other day and got a huge box of these. Yes, Nora says. My dad never lets me have juice. What do we do when we have to pee? I ask. Well, Miles says, coming up next to me, there's this invention called a toilet. His face is totally serious at first, but then he cracks and starts laughing. I lightly elbow him. I mean, there's no bathroom down here. Do we have to go all the way back to our apartment? There's a bathroom upstairs at the end of the hall, next to the laundry room, Oliver says. You can sneak up there when you have to go. Thank you, Oliver, I say. We have to make sure we clean all of this up when we're done, Elena says. No crumbs left behind. The last thing we need is a mouse infestation down here. But if there's a mouse, it could be our hideout pet, Nora says. We can name it Squeaker or Stuart, like from the book. That would be so cute. Elena practically gags. You're joking, right? One time a mouse found its way inside our cabin at camp and it almost peed in my pants and died. Nora laughs. Let's start playing something. Elena already voted against Twister. Oliver goes over to the corner, and my eyes get wide. Is Oliver who I've been writing to? Is he going over there to check the messages? It would make sense since he likes doodling on the walls. Maybe he decided to write that poem too. But then he picks up the beanbag chairs and brings them over to the blanket. He sits on one of them and grabs a juice pouch. My shoulders slump. But then I remember why I'm down here, to play games with my new friends, to get to know them better, not to figure out who's writing the messages. Well, not just that. Solving this mystery will have to wait another day. I quickly forget about the messages as we play a round of Taboo and then a round of Uno. We can't stop laughing throughout. Elena and Miles are really competitive, and the rest of us have to keep shushing them when they get too loud so nobody upstairs hears us. How is it that no adults know about the hideout? I ask during a snack break. I take a bite of Nora's cookie and wash it down with a gulp of juice. Like, nobody else has noticed the door in the back of the closet before? Probably because there's so much junk back there, Oliver says before stuffing a handful of chips into his mouth. People don't notice all sorts of things, especially adults, Elena says. This one time, I was on vacation with my family at a beach in Delaware. We stayed in a rental house, and there was this loose floorboard under the window. I noticed because I stepped on it and it shifted. Anyway, when I lifted it up, there were teeth inside, like 4 teeth still attached to the gums. You're lying, Miles says, wincing. I'm not, Elena says. I think they were fake teeth, but I wasn't about to get closer to check. Gross, Nora and I say at the same time. It was disgusting. My brothers thought it was hilarious and took a bunch of pictures to send to their friends. But seriously, how did the owner not know teeth were there? We all shrug and get quiet. I'm glad this place is still our secret, Oliver says. Same, Elena says. For real, Miles says. I don't know what I'd do if I couldn't come down here to de-stress with you guys. Totally, Nora says. I nod. I'm so glad I have the hideout now too. And these 4 friends.